Ladies and gentlemen, fellow colleagues, friends, esteemed and learned members of this forum, good evening. First of all, I would like to seize this opportunity to thank my dear friend, Professor Lee, for giving me the opportunity to participate in this meeting. It is an honor to be able to share my views on this interesting topic, which is re-engineering education with AI tools. As I am not a specialist, my sources are my colleagues, the internet, and my own experience with AI. Why did I choose to talk about AI in language teaching? Because I am a teacher for more than 30 years in Mauritius, and I am keen to learn about how AI is about to create a paradigm shift in teaching practices. Our small island is a small dot in the middle of the Indian Ocean, and although our history does not go far back in time, we do have a very dynamic education system, and we take pride in the quality education our children receive in our schools. The government has always put much emphasis on educating its people, as it is a known fact that through an educated nation, development and progress will take place. History has proven them right, as today we are proud to be amongst the most educated nations in the world. We Mauritians are multilingual because we have ancestors coming from Africa, China, India, and Europe. That's considered as an asset, and in schools, much emphasis has always been put to encourage learners to keep alive this aspect of our culture. The benefits, economic, cultural, and political, are undeniable. That is why we, teachers, are always looking for innovative ways to provide quality education, and tools like AI can and must be taken on board. However, the effectiveness of such tools should be studied properly before embarking on this adventure. More learned persons than me may talk more at length about the different tools available nowadays and the wonderful things AI can do to promote teaching and learning. So instead, let me give my humble opinion. The impact could be contrary to what is expected, and it is legitimate that experts as well as the commoners who will be the everyday users of such technology spend appropriate time experiencing and taking note of its advantages and disadvantages on the short term and long term. During the pandemic, schools had no option but to carry out classes online, and the consequences are being felt today. So much so that students nowadays have become so dependent on technology. Drastic measures had to be taken, and the ministry has decided to ban mobile phones in classes as from this year. I personally believe that students, as they will enter the workforce, should master the emerging technologies. Employers nowadays look for tech-savvy employees. This should not be detrimental to candidates who possess higher thinking skills and able to work effectively with their peers and management. I would like to talk a bit, if you would allow me, about my personal experiences with AI. As a teacher, I had to set a comprehension test for a particular grade. I used AI to generate a text and give possible questions that will be answered by students. When talking to a colleague from the same department who had to prepare a test for another grade, I was astonished to discover that he had the same exact passage as he also used AI. Students have used artificial intelligence to carry out translations, write essays, look for information, to carry out the different tasks that have been given to them. At first, I was impressed with the quality of their answers and was quite happy of the outcome, thinking that learning was taking place. It did not take long to discover that such was not entirely the case. At one particular time, one student, wanting to use ChatGPT, forgot to type the whole question set, and first, they did not give the correct answer at all. On another occasion, when digital tools were not accessible, students who were otherwise giving very good answers could no longer do so. A colleague of mine, a physics teacher, told me about how he intentionally set a wrong question to test the ability of students to think on their own. And the experience was very conclusive, as the students rushed to find answers through AI, instead of taking time to reflect on the correctness of what was asked from them. The effects are all not negative. Let's ponder about the positive output of using AI to work on assignments, research, or any form of work in the learning process. The quality will, without any doubt, be well over our normal expectations, as we are often used to correct poor essays that were scribbled in haste and without even any preparation and full of errors. Secondly, the content will be very rich, which is a satisfaction for a teacher who otherwise has to hear same answers repeated ad infinitum. That's what brings me to consider AI as a tool to deal with when planning lessons and setting questions for my classes. Warnings must be issued that there are limitations to the use of artificial intelligence. When doing research, learners have to read the answers before copying them, if it is not just copy and paste. So, I believe some of the information gathered will be retained somehow. As such, learning has taken place. It is this competency that has to be developed, and this is what teacher training should cater for in the future. Dictionaries, calculators, grammar textbooks, all are tools that help the human mind develop. So why not adopt new tools, while keeping in mind that if tools are wonderful adjuvants, they can also be very dangerous when placed in the wrong hands. One major concern about artificial intelligence is that humans will be replaced by machines. That may not be the case for several reasons, which I have listed below. Teachers have never been and must never be considered as guardians of knowledge. Next, we teachers know how to learn, not necessarily what to learn. We share a relationship with our students that is crucial to being able to know if learning is taking place or not. Students need to know that the classroom or wherever learning is taking place, he is in a secure place where he can express himself or herself freely. Teachers act as role models, which, in my opinion, cannot be achieved by any machine or program. Students need to be informed when they are taking wrong decisions, whereas when using AI, when the input is wrong, the answer will be wrong too. We teach students to interact with their peers and staff. Machines do not cater for such. Digital tools have already found their place in the teacher training and classrooms, and since COVID-19 pandemic. Students as well as teachers have taken a giant leap in the mastering of information technology. Traditional methods have proven to be very effective, but with the advent of AI, it is imperative that we think about its repercussions or other ways and means of using it, as it is a tool that cannot be put aside. Language learning has been carried out by practicing the targeted language and by showing examples through different medias. These methods have been successful, but if new tools are now available, it is a must to study the ways these can be used. The ultimate goal being that students show interest in the class and knowledge is retained. I would like to end my presentation with my appreciation of what I have heard from the previous speakers. AI will need communication skills, and that concedes that language is a very valuable talent to acquire. If learners understand this, my work is done, and if using artificial intelligence helps to achieve this goal, I'm all for it. Hoping that I have been of some interest to the learned audience, I thank you for your attention.